For as long as I have been a gamer on the internet, leaks and rumors have been a common part of everyday discourse, but especially around the time of video game showcases. In some situations, it can really hype up a show to know of a huge game that will be there, and you don't want to miss seeing the reveal live. But is that really worth what we miss out on? This year's Game Awards was, for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, one of the best in recent history. With amazing reveals such as a new Divinity game from Larian, Star Wars, Fate of the Old Republic, Control Resonant, 2 Tomb Raider games, and much, much more. But as we went from being weeks away from the Game Awards to being days away, more and more announcements were leaked. I came into the Game Awards being hyped about the games I knew would show up, but there was a part of me that felt a bit disappointed that there were no massive surprises that I didn't already know about. Tomb Raider, as an example, went from being officially teased that they would be there, to having leaked that 2 projects would show up, to the remake being leaked, to screenshots of the trailer being released, just days before the event, and personally, I think I would have preferred for that to be a surprise. When that statue was put out in the desert, and it was teased, people online discussed for weeks and managed to eventually figure out that it was related to Divinity through digging through recent trademarks. That sort of thing I don't really mind, and it was the same thing with Control Resonant. And I think that's fine because that is based on public information. But it does leave a bad taste in my mouth when people rush to leak as much as possible just days before the show. In many ways, I'm mostly surprised at how almost everything even can get leaked. I understand that it's hard for publishers to keep people from talking about what they're working on, but sometimes I do wonder what people attached to the project, or that are a part of organizing the reveal, get from sharing details or screenshots of the game. For leakers, it might just be a clout thing, but I personally don't understand why anyone related to the project would pass on the information to them. I feel like it just ruins the big reveal for a project that maybe had hundreds of people working on it for 5, 6, 7 years. I could see a world where some publishers sometimes leak things on purpose to create hype, but I think that is the exception rather than the rule. It just doesn't make sense since everything is leaking. And to clarify, reporting on cancelled games that the public doesn't know about, like the recent Eidos Montreal news about the Legacy of Kain reboot cancellation, is a completely different thing in my opinion, since, if anything, it highlights work that was being done but that won't see the light of day. One could argue that since a lot of fake leaks come out at around the same time, around these game showcase shows, it means you're not sure what you can trust and thus you don't fully know what's coming. But to me, it seems like that is just the worst of both worlds. Either you know what's coming, or you expect something to show up that maybe you're hyped about, but then it doesn't appear and then you feel disappointed. So, am I here just to complain about leaks for a few minutes and then end with saying yes, leaks did in fact ruin the Game Awards? Not fully. Do these leaks ruin my isolated experience watching the Game Awards? Yes, it does, at least to some extent. But do the leaks, rumors and general murmurs around the awards create a fun and engaging discussion and discourse that, if you view it all as a complete package, with both the show and the weeks leading up to it, become more entertaining? I would say that it probably does. So, did leaks ruin the Game Awards? The show itself? Yes, at least a little bit. But do I think that the discourse in the weeks leading up to the show was exciting and added to the experience? Yeah, I think it does. I still wish they wouldn't leak everything just days before the show, but all in all, I am one of those people who engages with the leaks, so I really am in no position to complain about this, even though I just did for several minutes straight. But that's just my thoughts around the subject. If you've got any thoughts, let me know in the comments. If not, I'll see you next time.